Thank you for waiting, ladies and gentlemen. We've invited first class. Now we're inviting executive platinum, emerald, sapphire, and ruby. If those
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Crew Travel right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. I am your host, and I'm very pleased to welcome, of course, the infamous Lee Harris. How are you?
Very good. I'm not sure if I'm infamous or not, but quite possibly, to be honest with you. But no, I'm all good. It's been a good week and ready to go once again.
Yeah, well, if anybody hasn't seen it, please do head over to our YouTube channel and TikTok, and of course, all Blue Marines travel sites, and check out Lee's, first ever TikTok video. It was quite entertaining. So thank you for that.
You're more than welcome. And you know what? It's the perfect example of dad dancing.
Yeah. Well, it definitely showed us another side of you, for sure.
Yeah. It was fun. It was good fun. I don't mind making a bit of an idiot of myself now and again.
Right. Well, we'll look forward to the next one. We'll let you know. I have to mention that Crew Travel is brought to you by Blue Marine Travel, who haven't lost a passenger since Lee Harris was born back in the late 1900s, and of course, their people move people.
We do.
So, Lee, it wouldn't be a travel week without strike action coming out of England. What's going on over there?
Honestly, it seems like it's the only thing we talk about, isn't it? Yeah, Border Force staff will go on strike over the Christmas holiday period at Heathrow, Gatwick, and several other airports. The Public and Commercial Services Union has announced. The industrial action was announced by the General Secretary of the Union, which represents civil and public servants and private sector workers on government contracts. PCS members working at Gatwick, Heathrow, Manchester, Birmingham, Glasgow, and Cardiff airports, whose main duties are to check passports for those arriving in the country, will strike for 8 days. The industrial action will take place from December the 23rd through to the 26th, and then the 28th through to the 31st of December for those airports. A total of 10,072 arrivals, equating to more than 2 million seats, are expected to be affected by the Border Force strikes at the 6 airports between the 23rd and the 31st. That's according to aviation analytics firm Syria.
What do I always say?
If you pay your people.
Pay your people, you won't have strike action. Then heading over to Croatia, they've got some news.
Yeah, really good news, actually, especially for Croatian crew. Croatia will officially become the newest member of the European Union's borderless area of Schengen from January 1st, 2023, the European Union has confirmed. The decision comes following a vote made by the European Union member states late last week. The Schengen area is growing for the first time in more than a decade. It has approved Croatia's membership as of the 1st of January. The presidency of the Council of the European Union pointed out in a statement published on Twitter. However, Bulgaria and Romania will not enjoy the benefit to move visa-free to Schengen zone countries from next year, after there was not a unanimous vote made by the ministers from the 27 EU countries in the meeting held in order to support the acceptance of both these Balkan countries into the zone. It was reported that Austria ceased Bulgaria and Romania's hopes of becoming the newest members of the Schengen zone.
Politics. Yay. And Philippine Airlines has some news.
They do indeed, yeah. Philippine Airlines is to finally launch its new non-stop route between Manila and Perth in March next year. The carrier had originally announced plans for the route in 2019, with 4 times weekly flights having been scheduled to launch in March 2020. This was put on hold due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but the flag carrier has now confirmed that a thrice weekly service will launch on March the 27th next year. The schedule will be as follows. Flight PR223 will depart Manila at 5 past midnight on Mondays, Thursdays and Saturdays, arriving to Perth at 7:15 in the morning. Flight PR224 will depart Perth at 8:30 in the morning on Mondays, Thursdays and Saturdays, arriving back into Manila at 15:50. The 7-hour flight will be operated by the airline's A321neo aircraft.
And for those who are looking to renew their UK passport, not much better news than last year.
No, unfortunately not. A government spending watchdog has called on the HM office to learn the lessons from this year. That's as similar levels of demand are expected again in 2023. The National Audit Office said HMPO processed record numbers of applications in 2022 following the lifting of COVID-19 travel curbs, but there was a delay for hundreds of thousands of people. Between January and September 2022, 95% of customers received their passports within 10 weeks, However, approximately 360,000 experienced longer waits, some up to almost double to 20 weeks, said the NAO report into the well-publicised problems this year. Gareth Davies, head at the NAO, said HM Passport Office processed a record number of applications amid unprecedented demand, but limitations in its systems, coupled with difficulties in keeping up with higher than average numbers of customers, contributed to delays for hundreds of thousands of people, thus creating anxiety flows with travel plans and hampering people's ability to prove their identity. They're now calling on HMPO to learn the lessons from this year and prepare for the similar level of demand that is expected in 2023.
Right, and the best news of all, flights and personal phone calls.
This is not good news, by the way, in my opinion. I will say my opinion. Passengers aboard flights in the European Union will soon no longer be required to put their phones on airplane mode and will be able to make phone calls as well as use their mobile phones to the maximum of their features and capacity, as airlines will be providing the latest 5G technology on their planes. Such news has been announced by the Commission of the European Union, which said earlier in November that the implementing decision on the spectrum for mobile communications on planes has been updated. The deadline for the EU countries to make 5G frequency bands available for planes has been set at June the 30th, 2023. Basically, this means that everybody will be able to use their phones to make calls as soon as the summer. Awful. Truly awful.
It's going to be really annoying. We had this conversation off air in regards to like long haul flights where you're trying to get, some sleep in before you arrive in the country that you're heading to, and to have phones ringing everywhere within the airplane, to have people loudly having their conversations. Just don't see that there's a need for it. We've gone this long without it. Why do we need to change that?
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, it's a recipe for air rage. It really is. People don't like it. You see people on trains, you see the videos, of people on trains who get annoyed with people talking loudly on phones. Imagine what it's going to be like if you have 4 or 5 hours on a plane. It's going to be, honestly, I can't see how this is going to work. I hope it doesn't work as well.
Yeah. Well, Lee, thank you. And of course, if any crew have any questions out there, please do send an email. We'll provide that email address underneath this interview when it airs, and Lee will do his best to answer it for you on the next week's show.
Indeed.
Yes, you will. Lee,
I will.
I want to say thank you very much again for, not necessarily brightening up our week, but giving us the information, as it were.
No worries. I'll stick another TikTok out. That'll brighten up your week.
I was going to say that. And I have to mention to you again that Crew Travel is brought to you weekly by Blue Marine Travel, who have lots of passengers since Lee Harris was born back in the late 1900s. And of course, their people move people. You've been watching another edition of Crew Travel right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Rhea. I've been your host. We'll see you again next week.